Good morning, traders. It is Friday, March the 1st. Taking a look at the charts, we've got the SP 500 index here, the futures, and more or less what we're looking at is today the market's set to gap up. You can see we got a nice green bar on the daily chart. We've got this significant previous high that we tagged almost a week ago. It's pulled back, and this morning it's working itself back up to that area. More or less, it's trading at the 1800 area, right at this red hashtag on our intraday chart, meaning it is going to pop into short-term overbought territory. It will create a gap window, which we know gaps tend to get filled. More or less, it shows an upward bias for today, and then it's showing that we could have a multi-day pullback in the markets. And this is what we talked about really back over here, where you're looking for potentially some type of pop and drop, some type of volatility increase here, and that it would probably try and pierce this red line before rolling over. And hopefully we see that. Hopefully we see some type of pop and sharp intraday reversal in the next day or so, next trading session or so, and then start to see this breakdown in price. Now, if we take a look at, let's just take a look over at our plays here. NIO, markets are trading up this morning. NIO this morning in pre-market hit $10. It's pulled back a little bit, but overall NIO is set to gap up. Has some half decent volume this morning, which isn't normal for it. So maybe there's something big at play here going on with NIO. Maybe we get a much bigger pop. We are looking for 1230. If we zoom out on the chart here, we're looking for 1230, which is way up at this level up here. If we look at this at our short-term momentum trading chart, you can see the market pulled back. All these green highlighted areas are oversold kind of buy zones. The market's popped. It's formed a very nice bull flag here. In pre-market, it's trading up near the $10 mark. Maybe we're going to get this continuation pattern that, let's just throw a Fibonacci extension on here and see exactly where that upside target would be, which would be roughly from here to there, down to this area. So if we condense price, we can see where the price should go. So there we go. So the recent run up and the pullback is giving us a 1264 target. If the market runs up here and continues to go, we should hit our 1230 with the current momentum that is behind here. So that's a really good sign. Hopefully we'll see that happen in the next couple sessions. I feel like it's very close to being a reversal here in the market. We'll see if we get a blow off and follow a continuation move here. We could see the market pop, the overall stock market pop and rally, take NIO with it. We get out and then we see the whole market kind of pull back as we're expecting with our inverse ETF using the Tech S. Looking at the Tech S, we continue to be under pressure on it. More or less the big tech stocks are really lagging, like Apple, really not showing much life. We are waiting for a pop for the tech sector to more or less have a quick crack to the downside. At this point, we're going to see this continue to trade lower. It could end up getting close to our stop level. We may add on the pop or the pop in the stock market or a drop here and tighten our stop or have our stop in place. If we don't get a quick reversal, then we get stopped out. If it does reverse, we've got into at a great opportunity where it gaps down to an oversold territory and we see this inverse ETF rally back up. Now taking a look over at, let's just take a look at the dollar and gold. More or less the dollar, we are expecting it to find support and start to rally. Looking at the dollar chart, more or less, it's trying to find buying pressure here. It's stuck at short-term resistance, this candle low. Also the 20-day, the 5-day. If we can pop and break this, we could be off to the races for a run up, which will send gold and silver miners lower. We have been seeing gold, silver miners continue to pull back. Gold down again today, 0.75%. We talked about it actually on this big up day over here that we were hoping for one more bigger push the second day, and we were going to look for an inverse play to take advantage of this pullback. It kind of stalled out the next day and ended up just pulling back, starting to break down gold. If we look at silver, it's down 0.8%, continuing to pick up speed to the downside. Gold miners trading, they'll be trading lower in pre-market as well. Currently at 1332.15, so it is trading lower as well. More or less, this is what we're expecting, is this kind of pop, these rallies, these pops and pullbacks, and for this to really unfold for a while with some big wide range here. If you do look at the short-term chart, we are dipping into oversold territories, But our other analysis based on the dollar and what's going on, we are expecting continued pressure in this sector. That being said, it is getting oversold. We're seeing miners fill into support here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some type of bounce. I just don't see it breaking out and rallying to new highs going forward. I do expect some type of bounce and potentially continuation selling later, but it is getting oversold and down to a support zone. Looking over at Bitcoin, let me just zoom out on Bitcoin here. Bitcoin trying to form this basing formation. Let's just zoom out a little bit. This is not Bitcoin. That's the Bitcoin Trust Fund. This is the Bitcoin futures. You can see the big sell-off. It is holding ground. We've got some more big volume, get ready volume spikes. It looks like it's getting ready to pop and run. Maybe we want to stick our toe in the water for a tiny play here and see if we can get a pop and a breakout. The signs are there that it is showing some signs of life. The trend is on a short-term basis is up and bullish, but it has yet to break this large consolidation pattern, this kind of trend line. We're kind of right along this area. Again, I really like this type of price action where it kind of just channels sideways and out of favor, but now we're starting to see these get ready pops and volume spikes in the market where that goes to show there's big money moving and rotating into the Bitcoin. Looking over at natural gas, down 0.11%. Overall, it is building a little platform here. We might end up seeing it pop and run to this 3, potentially higher mark. We played the quick technical play, which was a first tag of 255, looking for the bounce out of it. We did. We got 30% or so on that, and now we're out. We'll let it kind of do its thing. Who knows which way it'll go from here. Natural gas is very tough to trade. You really need very clear setups like what we played last time, and we'll just kind of let it be for now. Looking at crude oil, down 0.25% this morning. Pushed up this morning, sold back down very quickly. There's overhead resistance. This blue line is previous resistance. You can see how it keeps flirting with it and getting sold off. Maybe it's going to start to break out and run a little bit higher. Overall, it is at resistance and it keeps getting rejected at this point. But again, the trend more or less is up, and I think it could just be a matter of time before it does grind and move higher. But if the dollar does find stability and start to rally here, we'll probably continue in this sideways range for a little while longer. Last but not least, take a quick look at the daily chart of bonds. Last 3 days and today, we're really starting to see bonds kind of give way. They're moving to the downside with some pretty big volume. Obviously, traders are getting bullish on the stock market, and they are moving out of bonds and into stocks. And hopefully that is a sign that the equities market is on the verge of having an exhaustion top move, where we see that pop in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, followed by big selling step in, and the masses who are moving out of bonds and into stocks end up more or less buying at the high, and they'll eventually panic at the low, where we'll be looking to re-enter the market. Anyways, that's it for this morning. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.